Recording is
Long time no
on.
see, everyone. Welcome again. Today we will be covering the others like apps in HR Cloud. We have already covered like the employees, recruitment, leaves, and today we will be more talking about the performance part, like the 360 OKRs and surveys. So first, let's start with the OKR part. So OKR is like a simple but a powerful goal-setting framework that is used by many high-performing companies around the world, from Google and LinkedIn to startup and enterprises alike. So the idea is to define ambitious objectives, where you want to go, and break them down into measurable key results, how you will know you're getting there. So many companies struggle with implementing OKRs effectively, and they might use like spreadsheets, slide decks, or like third-party tools that are disconnected from their daily workflows. And this often results in OKRs being seen as a once a quarter exercise, not something that lives and breathes in your business. And that's where CloudOffix makes like the difference. So CloudOffix allow you to define, track, and align OKRs directly within your organization's existing workflows. So you can set up OKR sessions like these, and in these sessions, you can make them like quarterly, annually cycles, and assign objectives at the company, department, team, or individual level. So first, again, we begin by creating a new like OKR session. So let me open it from there. So as you can see, we have like different sessions here, and let me open one of them. So as you can see, this is like 2025 Q4, and the parent session is 2025. So we create our parent session. It could be like this, like 2025, a general year. And then we can break it down to sub-sessions like this. So when I open the 2025, I can see those sub-sessions that are created. So I now position this as quarterly. You can make it like more annually, but I make it quarterly, and the start and end dates are according to that. So I can, okay, we have seen, yeah. Günaydın.
Günaydın.
So I can have like a cadence, which is like it could be weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly. So we can define our like time frame depending how your company tracks your performance. So this cadence is like how often employees should update their like key results, whether it's like weekly, every 2 weeks, or every month. So they will be getting notifications according to that. And you can have a cadence day, which is like it can be every like Friday, weekly, every Thursday. So we can position it how we want to um, send notifications reminding them to update their key results. So this way the progress like stays current, and we can make everyone like accountable. And then from here, we can decide who can see this session, whether it could be all company, we can make it by department and add departments there, or we can make it by employees, or we can make it by employee tag from their employee cards. So we can change who this session will be visible to. So for this, we will make it visible to all company. The reason that I choose it as all company, because OKRs are not meant to live in like isolation. So they represent the common direction of the organization, the shared goals that unite like everyone's effort. So by making actually OKRs visible to all, we create transparency and also alignment across the organization. So everyone knows what we are aiming for and how their work contributes to the bigger picture. So after configuring our session, of course, we need to have some objectives. So it comes with a default filter, so everybody will be seeing their own objectives that they're assigned to, but I will be removing this. And as you can see, we have our objectives that we have added. We can see a list of all the objectives defined within this 2025 Q4 session. So each objective, for example, like expand market reach. So each objective can be assigned to one or more departments, and we can track their progress right from this view, but also again, as you can see, from this list view as well. So we can say this is for marketing's objective. This is both for marketing and sales. So we can define we can assign it to more than one department. So at this stage, the objectives are qualitative. So they describe what we want to achieve. So we want to have we want to expand the market reach. So that is like qualitative. But to make them measurable, we need to define some key results, the numbers that they show how we will measure success. And other than that, we can also have some child objectives, like kind of like sub-objectives for this objective as well. So we can always have like different measures under each objective as well. And as you can see, we can track the progress from here. And we can define the key results directly by clicking the set button, and it will open the key results, and we can add new ones that will be directly tied to this objective. So now, like, we will show how we can measure success. So you can have more than, again, one key result. So like define how we will know if we're making progress or not. So objectives tell us what we want to achieve. Key results tell us how much progress we need to make to get there. And from here, I can access like a few things. I can see what is the key result type, what is our target number, and what is the stage, who are the owners, all at a glance for now. So let's open one of them. So this is one of our key results. So at the top, I can see which objective it is related to, the title that I enter. So for this key result, enter and establish a presence on 2 new social media platforms. And I can add a description for people to read. And then I can add my owners. So several people can also share responsibility as well. So we can add more than one owners to this field. And I can track their progress. And on the right side, we need to define some other details. For example, the key result type, whether it will be achieved or not, or like should stay below, should decrease to. So we need to define a key result type. And if we want, we can have a deadline. We can have a hard deadline that we can set, or we can say no custom deadline. So we can define the deadline there. And we can save it. And once we save it, when people come here and they want to update their key results, all the key results history will be like linked here, and you can follow the progress as well. Okay, so let's change the deadline. Let's do it like that. Okay, it is past the due date. So let me see if I can update this one. So they can come here and they can have update their key results. They can say like what changed, what did they do, and also since we have the key result type as achieved or not, we can select these. It is achieved or not achieved, and we can set our like confidence level as well. So like, for example, within the first month, you have already reached half of your target. You can confidently indicate that, okay, I'm confident, like high, in a high level, the result is on track and to be achieved within the defined time frame. So this is like the confidence level that you have defined there. And let's say medium, and I can update the key result. And as you can see, everything is like linked under this like key result. And for another key result type, when I, as you can see, for like should stay above, I can have a custom unit, and I can say, let's say we have to find like 50 qualified leads or opportunities. I can have a custom unit. I can make it like lead, just like the other opportunity. So I can have my own custom unit as well. And I can have an initial number, a target number that I want to achieve, and I can add a critical number that is for this key result. And I can also come here. I can also update the key result from there as well. And as you can see, for this key result type, like this field, like this part is different. The current value is 0. It should stay about 80 and absolutely must be about this much. So the critical number that we have defined there. So I can say, okay, now it is 25. I feel like medium, and I can update it. And as you can see, the confidence level is like this. And I can, again, track the progress from there. And for the key initiatives tab, the key initiatives represents the specific actions or projects that will help you achieve your key result. So if objectives are like what and the key results are how much, then the initiatives are how. So you can add key initiatives directly under each key result. You can assign them to your employees, but only those who are the owners of this key result. So we can say, okay, please prepare 3 social media posts assigned to this person. And again, the owners that we have added here will be shown in the assigned to field. So these are complementing each other. And we can add these key initiatives. So this way, it is more clear who should do what, and you can easily follow whether the planned initiatives are actually driving the result forward. So we can always track that as well. So that's how we can manage our like OKRs and for like each session. And so everything will be, say, linked to this again, objectives. And under each objective, everything is, again, stay within the time frame, within the key results that we have defined. And also we can define our key result weights, because not every key result carries the same importance. For example, one key result might be worth 70% and 2 others are 15 each. So completing the first one would show like 70% overall completion for the objective. So we can also change like key result weights. Let's say reduce website load. This is, let's say, 60%, and this is like 40%. So in total, they're 100. So we can also define our key result weights just like that. So under like the managers part, users with proper OKR manager permission can see all objectives and key results created within the company. So again, CloudOffix uses permission-based access, so every employee only sees what they're authorized to view. So managers can see every objective and key results, and the users, the normal employees, will be only seeing their own key results, just like that. And again, we can have some custom units that we can define from here, like we have added on the key result. It could be leads, opportunities, numbers, days. So we can define custom units for our key results. And we have some OKR templates. So if your company's main objectives remain the same in each cycle, for example, increase annual revenue or improve customer satisfaction. So these are your main objectives. They remain the same for each cycle. But only the measurable values change. You can save time by creating templates from here. So this will allow you to reuse the same objective structure for future sessions and just update the numbers. As you can see, we have some templates and each objective is listed here. So this could be same for every like session, for every quarter. So all you have to do is just define the key results like targets, actual numbers, and you can use them for future sessions, just updating those numbers. And for the settings part of the OKR, we can have like OKR template data. So we can also have some sample data regarding OKR, so you can work on them by enabling this option. So you will have some template data that you can play with. So these are actually all the things that we have in the OKR, the objectives, the key results, the sessions, and like the manager views. You can create dashboards again for the OKR as well, different for managers, different for employees. You can have a dashboard view. So you can also have like that kind of reporting as well. Do we have any questions regarding the OKRs? Or everything's good? Okay. So then we can move on to the 360 appraisal. So the 360 is a feedback process like that collects input not only from an employee's manager, but also from peers, direct reports, and even the employee themselves. So this well-rounded view of performance gives a far more accurate, balanced picture than traditional top-down reviews. So it helps teams focus on not just on what was achieved, but also how it was achieved through collaboration, communication, and consistency. So with CloudOffix, we can design and launch a fully customized 360 evaluation cycle, all from one centralized platform. So let's open one example. So let me open this one, 2025 sales team. So as you can see, we have defined our mode. It could be by department, by individual. When we're defining it, as you can see, it could be by department, by employee tag, all employees. We can have more custom filters that we can use. We can exclude some employees, for example, like managers. So we can design it however we like. And we can define our appraisal type. It could be competence, it could be goal, or competence plus goal, a hybrid of both. So we can define our appraisal type. And we can have an evaluation period. It could be monthly, quarterly, yearly. So we can change our evaluation period. And we can have a start and end dates for this period. And if I choose competence plus goal, as you can see, we have another menu for goal settings. So from here, we can use some surveys. So we also have a survey app in HR Cloud, and we can use some default surveys that we can choose here that we have created in the survey app. We can send custom surveys, another survey for employees, another for managers, another for colleagues. So each of them got a custom survey that we have designed. And also I can do it based on expert level. So when we're creating our surveys, we have an option to select an expert level. So we can also tie it with that as well. So based on expert level, let's say we have senior, like junior. So seniors got one type of survey. Juniors got another type of survey that they need to fill out. So we can also select our survey mode. And from here, actually, this is where the 360 name comes from. If I turn these toggles off, let's say managers and colleagues, now it is 270 degree. So this is where you define your like degree of your 360 appraisal, whether it could be whether you're going to have employees, managers, colleagues, but you don't want sub-employees and collaborators. So you can define it from there. Who will you be collecting the feedback from? And from here, we can define a percentage for each of these evaluators. For employee, for their like their competence, they will be get 15%, but managers could be like 45% since their feedback is like a little bit more important than employee itself. And we can have an evaluation deadline. So it is getting based on like the end date. So the evaluation deadline be, so it is like 31 December. So it will be 2 weeks after this end date. The deadline will be this. And the competence weight. So since we're using both competence plus goal, we need to define like the weight of the competence and also the weight of the goal. So if we give 50, the other 50 will be divided in the goal settings. And when I come here, I have the company goal weight, and also I have like normal goal weight, like personal goals. So I will be distributing the other 50%, like 25, 25 to each of these personal and company goals and define the weight. And also again, for goal setting, we can again have a deadline and a goal completion deadline as well. And then who will set the goals? We can define whether the employee will be setting or their own manager, or in your company, you might have a performance responsible who are responsible from like the company goal setting. We can define here. And under here, we can add some like perspectives. So there are the key areas or categories on which employees are evaluated. So these help structure feedback and make it more meaningful. So we can have some main perspectives. These are more broad, high-level categories of themes of evaluation. For example, it could be communication. It could be teamwork, like customer satisfaction. So they represent the primary skills or competencies that are critical for the employee's role and performance. And for the sub-perspectives, these are more detailed, specific criteria that fall under each main perspective. For instance, under the main perspective, let's say we have communication here as our main perspective. So under communication, you might have sub-perspectives like clarity, active listening, like feedback delivery. So let's add active listening. So this is the sub-perspective of this main perspective. So these are like help break down the main areas into measurable and actionable parts for more precise feedback. And I can define a goal here, and then I can give it a weight to it. So I can add other perspectives as well, and number of perspectives. So we can add more to there. And for the competence settings, we already set those as well. And let's open an example that we have, this one. Okay, from here, as you can see, we have our main perspectives, a sub-perspective, and we have a goal, customer happiness, like in percentage. The weight is 30%, and for sales, sub-perspective is total sales, and the goal is the sales quota, which has like 70% weight. So we define those. So we have a performance responsible who is Sarah, and for the competence settings, we have defined employees, managers, colleagues, percentages. So when I run this appraisal, everyone will be notified, like the goal setting deadline for Sarah will have an activity automatically, and the Sarah will be notified. And also the company goals will be set. As you can see, we have the company goals, like the budget goals. We can define them from here. Like 60%, the goal value is 90 achievement. After like we have achieved something, we can come here and we can update this company goal from there, and we can see our achievement percentage. And also the appraisals are also created. So when I click on it, we have like 4 different appraisals for 4 other people. As you can see, for Kane, for Sally, for me, for Trevor. And from here, I can also see the competence completion, the goals, and the personal company goal scores as well. For example, for Kane, let's open this, and on the log chatter, as you can see, the managers and like employees of like Kane each got a survey link for them to fill out. So when they open this link, they can fill out the survey that they need to complete. And here, as you can see, we have the company goals. The company goals cannot be edited for employees since they're like the company-wide goals. So we need to define them on the general appraisal plan. But for the personal goals, we can come here and we can edit those, like what will be the goal value, what is the achievement, and like what is the goal value. So they need to sell like 50,000 and the achievement was 30,000, so he achieved 60% of it, and it got a goal score for himself. So based on the weight and based on like the achievement, so customer happiness should be 85% for his goal, but he achieved 70%. So he got a score based on that. And for the competences, as you can see, it is coming from like the survey that we have defined, the questions, and we can see the competence details, who is his manager, who is his colleagues. So this is getting from like the organizational chart part. So when we're creating the employee card, we set like who is the manager, and the colleagues are like the ones that they're working with, like in the same department. And as you can see, this is like a default survey mode set. And in the results section, we can see the competence completion again, the goal, the company goal completion, and the score for each of these, and the total score for Kane Goodman, which was 54 out of what we have like calculated there. So we can also have the results. And for the competence results, we also have a start button. So I can see that Betty did not start it yet, but Sarah Edward completed the competence survey for Kane Goodman, and the score is 19 for this. And I can see what she have given to Kane, like 3-4 clear, confident, and directions, 5-4 regular one-on-one checkings. I can also see the scores that Sarah gives to Kane Goodman. So that way we can manage our appraisals. The important part here is that if we want to define some company goals as well, we need to go to the settings, and we have a setting for that as well. So if we need also the company goals, that has to be defined for appraisals. So in the settings part, as you can see, we have enable company goals and evaluation. So we need to enable this, and under goals, we also be seeing company goals. If not enabled, we will be only seeing personal goal definitions. And from here, we can define those, and the company goals, when we're creating the appraisal, when I run the appraisal, start the appraisal period, they will be added to my appraisal from there. And we can have some calculation types for our company goals, whether it's a basic calculation, or you can have a more advanced calculation. You can have an advanced formula, a Python code that you can write here to calculate it. So you can have more advanced calculation types. And for company goals, just like the other like goals, you can have who will evaluate it, and you can say, okay, this is for finance manager, and the goal type is company goal. And if you are managing multi-company, you can also select your other company as well. And then you can have an owner goal as well for this. And you will be seeing the related goals listed there. And you can see like the appraisals in this year for this budget goal. And when I remove the filter, I will be seeing like the appraisals that are related to this budget goals. And same for the personal goal definitions. I can also define them from here. And when I'm creating my appraisal, I can directly select them from here. So each can be a main perspective, a sub perspective, and also a different calculation types, just like the company goals. And the related goals, again, will be also shown there. And we can have an auto assign mode, like by employee, by department. So you don't have to manually give them to your employees. You can have an auto assign. You can have it by employee, and you can select your employees. Again, for employee tag, you can select the tags, or you can do it by department to distribute this. And just like in the company goals, we can also see the appraisals from there. So it comes with a default like this year filter, but when I remove it, okay, this number of meetings are in these appraisals as personal goals. So I can follow it from there. And I can have a Gantt report for the appraisals as well. So I can see for marketing department, these ones for sales team appraisals, I have these. So I can also have a Gantt report like this. And again, each people will be seeing their own appraisals. They're getting their own like survey. So they will be again seeing what they're authorized to view. And for appraisals part, managers will be seeing they can see every appraisals that have created. And also, again, you can have a dashboard for your appraisals as well that you can manage with like pie charts, list views, like graph views. You can also have a dashboard for appraisals as well. So again, when we send the appraisal plan, let me open like a link that we can see. So let me remove the filter. Let's say for Kane Goodman. So when Betty Thompson opens this, so she will fill out the survey that is assigned to her, and then a score will be given based on the like the numbers that Betty gives, just like this. So that way we can manage our 360 appraisals and like evaluate the performance of our employees. Any questions regarding appraisals, regarding OKRs, or everything's good? No questions? Everything's clear?
For the moment, yes.
Okay, perfect then. So we talk about like 360 OKRs, and I mentioned that we can use we can design surveys and put them in 360-degree appraisals.
The 360 appraisal is not activated for us. We don't have it actually.
Oh, okay. Let me check that. So not in your demo, not in your main account.
Nope.
Okay. Thank you for telling me. I will be checking that.
Thank you.
Make sure that you also have that. So the surveys app, so we also have that in Marketing Cloud. So for surveys, you can design surveys that could be used in, let's say you design an event and you can send a survey one day after the event to collect feedback. Or you can have a marketing automation. Let's say you have a subscription. People buy this subscription. You have a marketing automation. First, a welcome email, and then 6 months later, you can send a survey to assess their feedback, how they feel about the subscription, whether they're satisfied or not. So you can also use surveys in marketing automation, in events, or you can embed them into email marketings that you're managing. So we can use it in many different ways. Again, 360 appraisals, we can use it in e-learning. And when I open the surveys, we can design many different surveys for internal use to send to like more external usage to collect feedback. So let's say we have an event like CloudOffix Summit, and again, we have some questions for this event. So when we're creating the question part, so add a section means that, so we can position it like that. First, I will ask like satisfaction questions and then the contact preferences. So this is the section that we have here for you to separate the parts of the questions, like contact information, satisfaction, like overall. So you can define different sections and you can like cut your survey into parts. And let me open a question example. So we will add a question here. We can use more we can make it bold, we can make it italic, underline, and we have many different question types. we have like multiple line text box, just like this, single line. And from here, we can say input must be an email. So the great part here is that in the options part, we can link it to a partner field, which means that we can create a contact card from surveys. So you can say, okay, I will ask the name and I will link it to, and the partner card first name. Second question, I will ask their last name, and then I will come here, I will link it to the last name. I will ask their company name, and then I will link it to a company name. So that way you can have a full contact card that you can create from the survey. And then another question you can ask, would you like to be contacted? And if they say yes, you can contact them. You already have their contact information. And for their email, you can have a single line text box and you can say input must be an email. So that way you can also verify the domain, whether it's like a real, like an email address that they put. So you can also have that as well. And we have like a numerical value, and each of these has different options. We can validate the entry. We can have a minimum value, maximum value, invalid format. We can have a validation error. And for example, for the date, we can have a minimum date. So you ask, what is your age? And you don't want for someone to continue the survey if they're under 18 years old. So you can have a minimum date, maximum date. And when they're under the minimum date, you can say you must be older than 18 years old. So you can use these to validate your entries for each of these question types. And we can have a multiple choice, only one answer. And we can add our choices here. If we're going to use it for, like, let's say for quizzes, we can also have some scores for these choices as well. And for multiple choice, we can also have an option to import from file. Let's say you will be asking, what school did you graduate from? And there may be like, I don't know, thousands of schools, and you cannot write them manually as like each of these lines. So you can have, let's say, a school list, like a university list, and you can import this file, and then all the choices will come there, and you don't have to manually type them. So we can also use the import from file option for multiple choices to import the choices, the answers inside here. And also we can allow multiple answers for a question. And then we can have a matrix just like this. And we can also choose to upload them a file. So you can say, okay, we have an event, please upload the pictures that you have taken during this event. And I come here for the description part, I can say the pictures might be used. So by uploading this, you give permission to use your photos. So you can also have a description and it will be displayed under this question. And for the options part, so as I mentioned, each of them have like different options, like for matrix type, like you can one choice per row, multiple choices, you can design it however you like. And you can say, I want to have them, let's say you have an option named other, and you can say, okay, I want them to comment a message. I want to make it mandatory. So you can also do that as well. And also what you can do is that for show comments field, we can also have the comment field is an answer. We can also say that comment field is an answer choice. We can make it as an answer like this, so they can select other and they can have a comment message for that. And I think the great part in like surveys is that our conditional display. So we can say if the user says, yes, I want to be contacted, display this question. So triggering answer will be if they are interested in Marketing Cloud. And I can say, which apps are you interested in Marketing Cloud? So this question will only be displayed if they answered Marketing Cloud in the previous question. So we can have like a conditional display like that. So each person can see questions related to their answers. So that way we can design our surveys. We can have a description for our survey that will be displayed on the main page. And from the options, we can have a previous button that they can go back. We can make login required. We can limit their attempts. We can have a quiz mode. We can put it in e-learning, or we can send like recruitment quizzes. We can have a time that we can put, a deadline. And let's say if it's a quiz, we can take the screenshots of the screen, and we can take photos of the person. And we can have notify users and responsible users. So if a person is a survey user, and if I want Andrew to edit this survey, I need to be adding Andrew to responsible users. So Andrew will be acting like a manager, but only for this survey. So he can come here and he can edit. And for the notify users, we can say for every new answer submission, every new survey submission, Betty will be notified. And we can have a thank you message after the person finishes the survey. And I mentioned that this is integrated with the 360 appraisal as well. And as you can see, we can add expert level, so specialist, manager, director, and we can use it during our 360 appraisal. So only sent specialists, only sent to managers. So we can define an expert level from here to use in the 360 degrees. And then we have other features. We can view the results of this survey, which will open a window for me that I can see it by graph, or I can see it by data. So for Marketing Cloud, user 87%, like 7 people. And how many people skipped this question while answering the survey. And I can also have like different graphs, and I can again see the data. So I can have I can analyze my answers just like this, and I can directly go back to my survey. And from here, I can also see the answers that are coming from like people. I can see, okay, for your name, they filled this. The answer is that. Do you want to be contacted? No. Let's see if they uploaded any photos. I can see it from here. And if I enabled photo screenshots, I will be also seeing them from here. And if there are any scores for the quiz, I can see it. If there's a partner related to it, I can also see who is the partner. And I can test my survey before like distributing it. I click on test survey, and it will, again, as you can see, the message that we have wrote, we can start the survey. And as you can see, since we have enabled this, it asks me to share my screen. So I can say, okay, I will share it. And now it is also taking a photo of me and also my screen. So this is nice if you're having, let's say, a recruitment quiz. So the people, like the person is not like cheating or getting answers from like the AI. So I come here, I can say, okay, as you can see, the message that we have right, they can upload a file. And from this part, if they click on yes, I want to be contacted, they will be getting, okay, your name, your last name, email, and your birthday. If they say no, they won't be seeing this like personal information collection part. So that way, this is like the conditional display. So if they say yes, they will be seeing it. And for the mandatory one, we can have it like that. And if I don't write anything, it will show me an error. So you can make your choices. Questions mandatory as well. So people cannot finish surveys before answering those. And I can finish my survey, and it will display the thank you message that I put. If I have a score, I can see it. I can review my answers from here, just like this. And the survey is finished for me, and my answer is now it will be 20. And the person can come here, and as you can see, all the photos, like the screenshots from my screen, and you can see whether they're actually doing the quiz, doing the survey, or they're cheating, or someone is helping to them. So you can also follow up from there, mainly for your, for example, recruitment processes. And we can see the answers from here as well. Comes with like a survey filter, so I can see which survey has which answers I can get, see it. And I can see some user input lines for this survey. Okay, I can see this, and if there is like a related partner, I can also see that. So for each survey question, I can see the survey user input lines. And from here, the choices that I added based on like questions for this question, I have these choices, and I give these scores to these choices. So I can also see those from there. So yeah, surveys could be used in many different places. It could be internal, it could be external. Again, it could be a post-event feedback survey, it could be a recruitment survey, it could be a 360-degree survey. So we can position it in many different places. Do we have any questions regarding the surveys?
Can we also put surveys on help desk?
On your website?
Yeah.
For the website, we can have like a feedback.
Sorry, not the website. The help cloud.
Oh, yeah, help desk. You can also use surveys. You can have not in the base, but we can do it with customization. For example, after you have closed a ticket, you can send a survey to your customer, a survey that you have designed here. We can get the link. We can have an email template. We can embed the survey link, and then we can send it after a ticket is closed. We can do that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Then we can talk about the e-learning a little bit. I'm thinking you're also using e-learning. We have some courses there where I also try to use it like regularly, try to update it. So in e-learning, you can design courses and you can use it for both internal usage, or you can have it open in your website that people can access. For example, we have an effective communication course. We can add our content from here, like active listening, and any other like content that we can put. And when we're adding our content, we have many different types that we can add. It could be a document, a PowerPoint presentation, a video, a SCORM file. It could be a quiz where you have design in the surveys and marked it as quiz. The important part here is that if you market it as a quiz, you can also put it e-learning. Let's say after each course, you can have a survey to measure the effectiveness of that course or the satisfaction. And we can have like a web page, an infographic that we can put here. It could be, let's say this is an orientation course for new hires, an onboarding course. We can put the organizational chart image added here, and we can add document like company policies handbook. So this could be also a course for like onboarding new hires. So we can design it however we like, how we want to use it. We can add some tags. We can have a description for the course to be displayed on the website. We can have some options. We can add a responsible for this course, since e-learning has also its own access rights. And for the visibility part. The important part here is that, for example, if I say all users, people with portal and backend ones, like the ones that using the backend of CloudOffix and the portal side. And if I say public access, so each user that is logged in the system will be seeing this course, but they have to be logged in if I select all users. If I select public, everyone that goes to my website will be seeing this course. And so for external users, we can make it only to portal users or only to internal users that are using the backend of the CloudOffix. And we can have enroll policy. We can say join by request. So they need to send a request on the e-learning course and we need to accept it. Or only by invitation. So I need to invite them to this course by adding them to attendees or click on invite. So we can also have some auto-enroll groups. For example, if let's say a new employee has started, so of course they will be getting an employee access right. So I can say whoever has this access right, whoever is in this group will be added automatically to this e-learning. So we can also have that as well. And from here, I can see who has finished the course, the contents that I have added, the attendees in this course, and whether this is published on website or not. And I can see the join requests. So we have like 2 joined requests. So I can come here, I can reject them, or I can give them access to this course. So we can design our own courses just like that. And we can have a reporting based on some courses, like in a list view, and also like in more graph view, and also for the contents that we have, just like this. For orientation, I want to see it, let's say by like publish date or like type, I can see it. And also I can have a reporting for the quizzes as well. And again, the course tags, we can also define them from here, and we can have the content tags that we can define from there. So again, we can also integrate it with, it is integrated with the website and also the surveys that we can add after, let's say, for each course. Any questions regarding the e-learning? Anything you're wondering? Or everything's good? Okay. Then for the attendance part, we have also an attendance module. Since I'm logged in as admin right now, it says couldn't find employee. But the main point here is that you can have like a machine that you scan your card when you're entering your office. So it gets the time that you enter and gets the time when you get out, so it can calculate the duration of your working hour. So we can integrate with those, so you can have a QR that you are scanning, and we can have integrations with those things if you're using an app like that. And we can manage attendances from here, and we can see it, Sarah check in this time, check out this time. So I can manage attendances, and I can see it by, I can see my employees here. And for the kiosk mode, as you can see, like scan your badge or select an employee. So if I check in, and I can again check out like this, we can also manage like that. So this is for the attendance for like the office hours. And we can have a reporting for attendance analysis, and also a pivot table and it with different measures. So I want to see it by, I don't know, a checkout time. And this is also integrated with the timesheets. So when I go to the timesheets app in Project Cloud, as you can see, timesheet attendance. So I can have a timesheet attendance report from the timesheet part as well, since they're integrated with each other. So that way we can have a reporting. But if you have an app that you're using that requires you to scan your badge, an integration could also be possible for that, to keep track of check-in and check-out processes. And for the travel management, this is both for expense and travel management. So employees may come here they can create some travel requests. Like say, okay, I will be traveling by plane from this country to this state. This is my start date. I will be back on this date. And you can select your currency since we support multi-currency. And then when everything is done, you can start to generate your expenses. As you can see, we have some travels here. So they can come here, they can request for an advance. They can come here, they can request for transportation, accommodation, and if they require visa, they can have a visa. And for every request that you have done, the related people will be notified. So you have been assigned to review and approve a travel plan for the manager. And for transportation, the related person will be notified. So they can come here, they can like set up the plane, they can attach the plane ticket from here, or like this is just for like the approval part. So you can manage your travels here. They can ask for an advance, and they can attach their expenses to this travel. Let's say they eat a meal, they use the taxi, they use the train. So they can also attach their expenses and say, okay, I paid it. I need the company to reimburse me, to give back me the money that I have spent. So we can also tie our expenses there. And from here in the settings part for travel management, since these can be assigned to every other people in the company. So you can say who will pay the advance, who arranged the bus, who is responsible for like transportation plane, who will track the visa. So you can also set those. And for the expense part, you can have an email alias where people can send emails, and then an expense will be generated in the system. You can also have an email alias like that. Think about it like in the recruitment job email aliases, or in help desk, like category email aliases. A new ticket is created. So we can also have it for expenses. And we also have it, so for this one is for the travels and this one is for the expenses. So we can have an automatic expense entry, which means that we have an autonomous agent behind this. You can attach your receipt here. The autonomous agent can read the receipt, can read the total, the date, and then it can generate an expense entry for you automatically. So you can also use autonomous agents for the expense entries to scan your receipts, but you can also create your receipts directly from here. And also you can create your expenses, you can add them, and then you can create a report to send it to your manager to approve them, an expense report. And you can add the product. Of course, the product should be created inside of the system and should be marked as is expense, so they can select it from there. And just like this, they can create their expenses. And then after that, they can create a report, they can attach their receipts. And then when they create a report, we can send it to our manager for them to approve my expense, whether everything is correct, whether everything is correct based on like the receipts that I add, the amounts are like corresponding or not, so they can check it and approve this report. And as you can see, you can also see the expense reports that you have created here. And what also you can do is that you can select your expenses and you can say, I will attach them to my travel. So these belong to, let's say, to my Hamburg travel, and I can attach them. And as you can see, they're attached automatically to here. So you can also tie your expenses just like this with the business trips. And we can have an expense analysis reporting from there with, again, different views, different measures. I want to see it by like product, or I want to see it paid by, whether it's company or to reimburse. I can see that from there. And I can have an expense dashboard that I can design. These are the paid expenses. These are the approved to be paid. And these are the expenses by this week. So I can also have a dashboard that I have designed for expenses as well. And the expense products are listed here that you have marked as is an expense. And also in the settings part we already covered, we can define who will is responsible for the visa, who is responsible for the transportation. So we can manage those from there, and everything is like stay inside of this like travel record, every expense, like every communication that we have done, the like requests, whether there are any advances that we give, approved ones, remaining ones, so we can also return the advance for a travel, so we can manage those kind of things. And for the advanced management, we can also do it from here. We can say I will be requesting this amount, the date is this, the installment count is 3, let's say, and the reason is I will be moving to a new apartment, and we can send a request, and then it could go on these workflows, and then our advance can be approved. And for the settings part, for the advanced management, we can select who approve requests and who will approve the installment and amounts. We can set different people who are responsible for this. And we can have some limits, salary limits, like limit for, we can say department, limit count, the year, the limit value, and we can select, okay, marketing and sales. So we can have an advanced salary limit for the company as well. So people won't be requesting much more than this limit value for that year. And we can manage these kind of advances from there as well. So any questions regarding the HR Cloud? Anything you're wondering? Anything that is not clear?
No.
In any case, if you have any question that comes to your mind, you're more than welcome to send me an email as well. But I think we have finished our sessions together. But of course, we can always stay in touch to ask your questions or anything that we can help you, any requests. You are always more than welcome to give your feedback, your requests, your ideas.
Thank you very much, Sanay.
Thank you guys as well.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, everyone. The heart is always like surprises me with the noise. but I got the point.
Thank you, Salai. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Salai. Bye. Have a
everyone.
nice day.